Are you guys ready for something a little bit different today? Because I definitely am. As much as I love wiring and as much as I love wanting to get it done, we're gonna shift gears a little bit. So, oh, what did I just step on? It was like dog poop. It wasn't dog poop. Let me clarify. It was zip ties, but I don't know how my brain went from zip tie to dog poop. Anyways. We got a lot of stuff going on today, you guys, so what's going on, and welcome back to the channel. So I'm getting a little bit of a late start today. It's about 2:30, 2:45 or whatnot, but we're gonna be making a lot of good progress on this today. So for Christmas, Melanie actually got me a set of quick jacks for the shop and for the garage. They're portable, so I can take them wherever I want. So I'm gonna get these set up on the STI here in a minute. So that'll be the first thing we do. Second, I also went ahead and I ordered some Cerakote for all of the exhaust components that we have over here. So we've got some of their Cerakote burnt bronze color. I only got a pint of it to start with because I don't know how much I'll be needing. And I also don't have any like paint guns or painting supplies or anything like that. So I made the trip to our good old friends over at Harbor Freight and I grabbed all of this painting stuff. Now this was actually pretty cheap, only 60 bucks for the mesh strainers, the high volume, low pressure paint gun, airline because what I had I took to the shop, air fittings, and some masking tape. All that was only like 60 bucks. This I want to say was like $80 for this pint or whatnot. So we're gonna start small with probably these guys right here. Now what they say is you want to media blast all your stuff before doing it. My media blaster just isn't big enough for any of this stuff, so I'm gonna be going a different route of using some Scotch-Brite and then cleaning it up with some brake clean before we start painting this stuff. I've never done anything like this before, so this is all going to be new to me, so I guarantee you I will make mistakes when doing this, but we will figure it out as we go. We also went ahead and got Melanie's GTI tinted this morning as well. That was her Christmas gift from me, was getting her car tinted. So we got some nice 30% ceramic tint all the way around the GTI. It's looking minty. And then lastly, one more thing before we jump into all the good stuff we're doing today. We're gonna be playing with the wiring harness. Oh, I totally spaced. Here's a quick time lapse. I was working on the wiring harness off camera last night, made massive progress. So yeah, massive progress on the wiring harness. Things are getting terminated. We have plugs and connectors going on, stuff like the oil pressure sensors plugged in. I don't have that one plugged in yet, but there's a lot of stuff going on right now. Like that one is done up for the air temperature sensor. So a lot of progress. I'm doing it off camera on trying to get this thing running as well. But I am taking a break from wiring for right now. But anyways, Volkswagen update for you guys. So the Golf R is going to be disappearing. So we've got things figured out where the dealership is taking the Golf R in on trade for the BRZ. And the BRZ will be the replacement for the Golf R. As much as I liked the Golf R, as much as I love the Golf R, I realistically just don't have the funds to throw at the car right now to try to diagnose, correct the problems with it, and then just keep going back and forth. I need something that is just a daily driver I can drive and not have to really stress about anything too much. So don't worry though, all of my MQB friends, we are keeping our 16 GTI and everything we had planned for the R, we're gonna be doing to the GTI. So don't worry, things are gonna be still happening with the Volkswagens. But from a content perspective, that's great because we've got STI, MQB, we have the Evo at the shop, and then we also have the BRZ coming. So we'll have 4 different platforms to be playing with. So before we get into painting and prepping and all that stuff, let me get these quick jacks set up real quick, get them underneath of the car. I need to throw these other 2 Evo wheels on here temporarily to get the quick jacks on, the jacks out. So let me take care of this situation real quick. That was a little more labor intensive than I was expecting to get those quick jacks set up, but that's gonna make life so much easier whenever we have to do things in the garage working on any of the cars. The process, I mean, honestly, it was easy to like put together, but bleeding it took quite a while. I also got a couple of fittings on the wrong spots, so I had to pull them off, rethread tape on there, put it back on, retighten down, but everything's Gucci, and it's so easy to use. They're genuinely so easy to use. Like after you get them all set up, you just slide them under. They come with these rubber blocks, so you can get those rubber blocks on there, so that way they're not going to damage the car or anything like that. They give you 8 of them. You've got like 4 of these like medium-sized ones, and then you've got 4 more larger ones. And then it's easy. You just connect up the high pressure lines up to the motor right here. You plug in the motor. You have this little controller that says up, down. You want the car to go up, you push up. You want it to go down, you push down. It's got these nice little locking feet and everything right there. So dude, and it goes higher than this too. I just don't need it to go any higher, but 10 out of 10, dude. I'm happy with those. Huge shout out to Melanie for getting me those for Christmas. That's awesome. So next up, we're gonna start getting all this stuff going. So I've got this Cerakote burnt bronze that we're gonna be using. I have a like $30 Harbor Freight paint gun. It may be good, it may be bad. I don't quite know. I've never painted before, so I've never even held a paint gun. I'm a painter now. So it comes with the paint gun, the regulator, a little like cleaning tube, this weird thing. I have no idea what that is. I'm guessing that's something for something. I don't know. It comes with the tank to hold all the paint. I also got these 100 mesh filters for this. I'm gonna be doing this with the door open because obviously I'm in a garage. We don't want all the fumes going into the house. So I'm gonna set up like a small little paint booth area. So I'm gonna get that set up. Then I'm gonna go through here, prep all these parts. I'm gonna Scotch-Brite all of them pretty thoroughly. Then I'm going to clean them all, brake clean. We're gonna start with something small. We're probably gonna start with both of these guys first, just so that way I can see how they come out, because like I said, this is my first time doing this and I have absolutely no idea. You know, maybe I should start on something a little, nope, we're gonna do those first. We're just gonna go for those. So let me get a little paint booth spot set up, and then let's prep these. So I'm going ahead right now. I'm getting the Cerakote mixed. It says to shake it for 5 to 15 minutes. I wasn't even paying attention. Then we're gonna put this strainer into our gun here. I've already got it set on the actual tank to 30 PSI. I'm gonna test a couple fan patterns just to make sure we're at a 2-inch oval. And then we're gonna work from the hardest areas to get out to the easiest. So let me get this mixed up some more. I can tell you right now, the stuff don't smell very good. So, dude, let's just go for it. Let me show you my setup real quick. So this is my state-of-the-art paint gun from Harbor Freight, about $25 US. And this stuff was like, I don't know, I think this was like 80 bucks for that pint. I'm probably gonna have to buy more to do the rest of the stuff I wanna do, but I wanted to test this before like committing to a big batch. We have our strainer right there. It's got a whole bunch of mesh in the bottom of it, so that way it catches any clumps. And then over here in my kill box, I've got all of these parts chilling right here. Now I'm gonna go ahead and grab a small heater and just kind of like plug it in right here to point at all of this, so that way it has a little bit of heat going on it, because it is a little bit cold outside. I want to say it's like 40, 45 degrees right now. So let me grab a heater, pull it out here, point it at this, and then let's test. We'll test a couple spray patterns first. Okay, let's get some paint in the gun first. So that guy comes off. Let me put my mask on because this stuff smells like butthole. Filter in. It says pour the desired amount, so I'll do that. I think that should be enough to start with. Oh. All right, let's go try it. Keep in mind, I've never done this before either, so new to me. You know, I may not be a professional, but I can at least say I did all this myself, so that's something. Now, talk about difficult. Woo! You really gotta watch your trigger control. You go too ham, you're gonna spray way too much. I just found that out the hard way. But overall, dude, like, not bad for me doing this myself. For never even holding a paint gun before, I feel like I'm doing decent. I think I have room to fit the other guy on this, so since I still have paint in the gun, I think I'm gonna try to do that. Dude, I am so happy with how all of this came out. This is my first time ever like picking up a paint gun or Cerakoting anything, and it's a little hard to see right now. I have all the lights on, but it's still not enough to really show you guys the finish on these. But dude, like, it came out so freaking perfect, and it's self-leveling, so as these sit overnight, it's gonna level itself a little bit more, but we got solid coverage on literally everything on all of these. Oh baby, so tomorrow we can do the downpipe, so I'm gonna let these sit overnight. Once we have a little bit more daylight, because it's dark as hell right now, I think it's like 9:30 or 10 o'clock, we can go ahead and pull these off, get the downpipe on here, and do that one as well. Dude, Cerakoting's hella easy. Now, I'm sure with abrasive blasting, you get better results, you probably get better longevity. Like I said, I just don't have a blast cabinet big enough to do any of that stuff, or the correct media for it. So Scotch-Brite, it's all brand new piping, so I feel like Scotch-Brite and a little bit of sandpaper roughing it up enough was able to get it, I guess, textured enough to be able to have the Cerakote stick to it, because it's stuck exceptionally well. We're just gonna have to see how long it'll actually hold on to there for. So that ceramic coat is the burnt bronze. It is their C class, rated up to, I want to say it's 1800 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm not expecting that Cerakote to keep heat from getting on everything else in the engine bay. I am expecting it to prevent any of the exhaust components from like rusting, decay, anything like that over time. I am going to be wrapping all of that with exhaust wrap as well. I just want to be able to keep all the heat, as much heat as possible in the exhaust, and not let it escape to the rest of the car. So we're going to let those sit overnight and see how they turn out in the morning. That paint gun from our Harbor Freight honestly did more than well enough. The 100 mesh strainers they had there, honestly, a lot of people hate on Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight has a lot of good stuff for like super cheap that works for projects like this. Like, I'm not a professional. I'll maybe Cerakote things every now and then. I'm gonna start Cerakoting a lot more stuff now that I know how to, and now that I know it's that easy, and now that I have the painting supplies. So we'll let them sit overnight. We'll come back out, do the downpipe in the morning, and see how these look. All right, you guys, it is the next morning, and looking at these parts, they came out incredible. They have like a weird, I don't want to say it's like a metallic feel to them anymore. It's like a weird, I don't know how to describe it. They have a weird feel on them now. Honestly though, they came out incredible. Like, look at the finish on that. All of them just came out absolutely beautiful. There's like one spot right there that I probably could have gone a little heavier on, but it'll be all right. Like I said, these are all getting wrapped in exhaust wrap anyways. So this coat here is just to help just retain that heat in the exhaust as much as possible. So let me get all of these taken off. We're gonna go get them on the table over next to me, and then we're gonna get the downpipe up on here and start spraying the downpipe as well. I think I'm gonna do the hot side of the turbo. I don't think I'm gonna do that today. I'll probably do that off camera, but it's probably not a bad idea just to do that turbo too. So let's get all this off, let's get that downpipe prepped, and then we'll get the paint gun set up and start doing all of that. Well, just that. Whoop, there's two. So I think I will end up doing a second coat on all these, you guys. Like, there's a couple small spots that I missed on each one. And before I put them on the car, before I just let them cure for like 5 days to have that full cure on there, I might as well just do it. So I'm gonna do the downpipe next. I'll come back through and do a second layer or a second coat on all this stuff. Like, you guys can just see there's a little bit of spotting like down in there. There's a couple spotting spots like on this guy down there. So it better just to do it all right. So we'll do another coat on all these here in a little bit. But first, let me get that downpipe out. Let me get it prepped. We'll get the paint gun set up, and then we'll knock out the downpipe as well. So we've got all of the exhaust components pretty much ceramic coated at this point, or Cerakoted, whatever you want to call it, except for the exhaust housing on the turbo, the dump tubes for the wastegates. I just don't have any more room to put them right now, so I'm gonna have to do those later on at a different point. But I figured we'd do a lot of the exhaust coating now because it's gonna take it does a partial cure after 24 hours and then a full cure after 5 days. So I'm gonna have to let these sit for 5 days before we wrap them with exhaust wrap, get them permanently installed on the car. But I wanted to do it now so that way we didn't have to do it later. So it's just kind of done with at this point, so we can just get those installed one step closer to getting this thing running. So I came over here and I retouched up these guys that needed touch up, and the couple of spots that they did, they came out stellar. Same with the up pipe right here. I know the lighting's a little bit difficult in here. The garage door just completely covers all lighting. I just don't want to gas this out in the house, but all of these are done right here. Well, those 4 pieces are done right there. The downpipe, I'll probably have to do another coat on later, but we have the initial base coat down, so I'll probably come back out here later tonight and knock this guy out, but it just came out so good looking. The titanium on the downpipe didn't want to stick at first, so it did take about, I don't know, half a layer to get it to like start like leveling itself out, getting it to stick properly and whatnot. I guarantee you if you media blasted all this stuff, it would come out 1,000 times better, maybe even 100,000 times better. I don't know, it's my first time doing it, but to be honest, I'm pretty happy with the results on this. It came out like incredibly smooth. It looks good. It's going to like serve its purpose and function, especially with the exhaust wrap on there. It's just going to make this look that much better and function that much better, because we like function. So that is where I'm stopping today, you guys. I have to come back out here in a little bit, like I said, ceramic coat or Cerakote the rest of the parts that I have sitting around, just to get those done with. I'll do the hot side of the turbo, I'll do the dump tubes, everything like that, just so that way all of the coating is done, so that way we can just wrap it all in exhaust wrap, get it permanently installed on the car, and just be one full step closer to getting this thing running. Honestly, the only things we have left to do is finish the fuel system, which I'm still waiting on the fuel line that shipped out January 2nd. FedEx, if you see this, can I have my fuel line, please? So we have to finish the fuel line, then the fuel system's done. We need to finish terminating the harness and just get the rest of the connectors on there. Kyle's coming up this week to finish the fabrication on everything else. Then at that point, oh, and we need to figure out the coil pack situation. And then at that point, start the car. Literally just push the button and hope for the best. Start the car. Oh, and put fluids in it too. Oil. Oh, and the low pressure power steering line. I got to figure that out also. But you know, we're making solid progress. It's literally coming down to the wire of being able to start this thing for the first time, and I literally cannot wait to hear that car start. It has taken 1.5 years of building, figuring out, learning, documenting, and just getting it to the point it's at now. And we're so close to a first start. So that's all I got for you guys on this one. If you like the video, if you want to do this DIY Cerakoting stuff at home, I'll link below everything that you need to be able to do this, everything that I bought. Even if you have a Harbor Freight local, just go buy their $25 paint gun. As you can see, it works wonders for this. So I'll link it all down below for you guys. If you guys like the video, you know what to do. Go ahead, hit that like button, turn it black, blue, green, silver, cyan, whatever color it turns for you, you know. Color of the day, because it's been a while, is gonna be burnt bronze for the exhaust. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel and you want to be one of these corners, no idea which one I'll put it in quite yet, but with that, I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, homies.